The symbol is associated with a pagan deity named Bagul. He consumes the souls of human children.
The movie opens with video footage in which 4 people are killed, hanging from a tree. Following that, a crime writer named Ellison is moving to a new house with his wife Tracy and 2 children, Ashley and Trevor. Ellison has moved to the same house where the people seen at the beginning of the movie are killed. He intends to investigate the murder and find the missing girl Stephanie, who was a member of the family but was missing. He kept his intentions a secret from his family and decides to work privately on the details. He goes to see his daughter, Ashley, who loves painting the walls and requests her to unpack the stuff, but she shows her desire of going back to her old house and school. Ellison persuades her by proclaiming to move back to the old house after completing the book, and until then, they will have to try to like this place. At the same moment, the sheriff arrives there and talks to Ellison. He does not seem to like Ellison much, thinking he has no respect for their profession. He mentions that through his book, he has helped a murderer and has caused chaos through his writings. Ellison talks about Stephanie and states that he is here to let her town know what has happened to her, as it deserves a proper explanation for her being missing. The sheriff leaves after pointing out his poor choice of house, and Ellison talks to his wife. On being asked by her, Ellison lies to her that he is not here to investigate any murder. Ellison reaches the attic, where he kills a scorpion, and notices a box that suddenly appears there. He checks the box and finds a few videotapes with a projector. At night, Tracy is worried about Ellison's changed behavior when doing his work, but he assures her of not doing what he has done earlier and requests her support, stating that he is going to make a lot of money from this book as he has made through the previous one. He leaves and sets up his office, where no one is allowed to enter. He puts all of the records of the murders on the wall that are related to Stephanie. After setting up everything, Ellison plays a videotape on the projector in which he witnesses the same murder in which 4 people are hung to the tree in the backyard of the same house where Ellison is residing. He does not notice Stephanie there and notes her absence in the form of a question. He gets scared after looking at the footage and drinks beer to gain his senses. Ellison goes out and gazes at the tree, but when he returns he feels something strange inside his house. Upon checking, he finds Ashley, who is unable to find the bathroom. He guides her to the bathroom and puts her in bed. Ellison gets back to his office and watches the footage of the second murder. He watches a family having a good time at their picnic, but then things turn and they end up being burnt alive inside their car, except for their younger son. This scene wrenches his heart, and he contacts 911, but instead of talking to them, he disconnects the call, being greedy about his book. He looks at all details and is confused about how the box got to the attic and why is it given to him. Ellison is about to see the recording of the third murder when he listens to some noise and has to leave his room. He keeps following the noise and finally finds Trevor in a box, and he gets closer. Trevor starts yelling. Tracy also arrives, and they bring Trevor in the fresh air and make him wake up as he already has night terrors. The next morning, all of them make fun of Trevor for being found in a box instead of being found peeing in the dryer. Trevor gets humiliated and leaves for school with his mother. After everyone leaves, Ellison runs the videotape of the third murder and finds another family being killed by drowning in their swimming pool. This murder follows the same pattern, and again the youngest one goes missing. While revising the video, he is stunned, noticing a weird woman-like paranormal entity in the water, and stops the video on it. As he gets closer to observe it, the projector burns out. Ellison gets help from the internet and manages to find a method to project these videos with the help of his camera and records it on his laptop. He is staring at the strange thing that he has noticed in the video when Tracy and Trevor arrive home while arguing with each other. Ellison calms them both and inquires about what has happened. Tracy informs him that he has 4 men hanging from a tree, due to which everyone is scared of him at the new school. After Trevor leaves, Tracy gets mad at Ellison because these are the details from his book that Trevor has drawn. Ellison apologizes to her for this and convinces her that the victims need some recognition. At night, Ellison observes the recording of the 4th murder and panics after looking at the family members being slaughtered while sleeping, while the youngest one again goes missing in the case. It adds more to Ellison's worries, and he manages to track down the address of the house where this family was murdered. After noticing the address, he is checking the details of the murder when he listens to a loud thrashing sound. He reaches the attic while following the sound and encounters a snake there. After that, he notices some illustrations of the children, standing beside the dead bodies of their families, and records these illustrations on his phone. While getting out of the attic, the floor of the attic breaks, leading him to fall. The next morning, medics cover his injuries and leave while the deputy stays there and observes the site from where Ellison got injured. The deputy asks him about the intruder and the thrashing sounds that he has been listening to and suggests that it may have been done by the squirrels. The deputy then requests him to give him his book along with his autograph, and as he leaves, the deputy follows him to his office. The deputy looks at all information gathered by Ellison and offers his help. Ellison accepts his offer and gives him some facts about 2 murders and requests of the deputy to collect all of the information about these murders. The deputy ensures him to provide the required information, and after he leaves, Ellison is seen sitting in front of the TV and gets sad after listening to his old interviews about his book, Kentucky Blood, which was very famous when it was published. The next day, Ellison looks at all of the illustrations and wonders why the children would have killed their own families. He was looking at the laptop when he notices the same woman he saw inside the pool in another video and keeps wondering who she can be. He receives a call from the deputy who notifies him of the addresses of the places where the murders took place. Ellison looks at the details and finds out that somehow the families have been living in houses where there already a family have been killed. During this, the woman in the picture can be seen moving and looking at Ellison, but as he turns, she gets back to her position. Ellison then plays his video of when he was falling from the attic and notices many hands pushing downwards. He looks at this and closes his laptop while getting scared of what he has seen in the video. Ellison is sleeping at night, but he wakes up after listening to the sound of the projector. Upon checking, he finds the projector playing the video of the murder and gets scared of it. He takes off the woman's photo and finds her in front of him, but as he rubs his eyes with disbelief, the woman disappears. Ellison takes his flashlight and finds Trevor standing in the bushes. Ellison throws the flashlight and brings Trevor inside, to which Tracy also wakes up and takes care of Trevor. Ellison faces a dog when he tries to pick up the flashlight. While Ellison is busy with the dog, the 5 children appear behind him and disappear when Ellison is about to turn, and the dog also leaves as the children vanish from there. As Ellison gets back, Tracy gets into argument asking him what is happening to Trevor as she has not seen him doing such things. Ellison does not tell her anything and persuades her that he was afraid of the dog when she asks him why he is scared. In the morning, a deputy comes to see Ellison and hands over more information to him. He looks at the picture of the woman, and Ellison explains the methodology of the murders to him, informing him about the children and the symbol he has noticed in all videos. He suggests contacting Dr. Jonas to get further information from him. In the evening, Ellison watches the last murder and is depressed to watch the details of such a gruesome murder. Fortunately, he receives a call from Dr. Jonas, who reveals the information about the symbols and the children who are missing. He discloses that this all is related to a pagan deity named Bughuul, who eats children and requires children's souls to survive. He traps his victim by showing them an unrealistic world and demands a blood sacrifice. Ellison realizes that the woman he has been watching is Bughuul and requests the doctor to find more information about Bughuul. After that, he puts the projector and the videotapes back in the box and goes to sleep. Ellison wakes up after sleeping for a while and listens to the projector sound. He goes to check and is amazed to see the projector working in his office. He picks up his bat and checks on his children, and we see that Ashley gets possessed by Bughuul after Ellison closes the door to her room. He goes to the living room and falls asleep there while holding a bat in his hands. The next day, the deputy again comes to meet him, and Ellison tries to inform him about what he has been going through, but he does not believe him and blames his drinking habit for this. After the deputy leaves, Tracy calls Ellison and shows him the painting of Stephanie drawn by Ashley. Ashley reveals that her father is working on her story, which infuriates Tracy, and she gets mad at him for lying to him. She informs him that his legacy is his children instead of what he thinks. Ellison again gets up from his sleep and reaches the attic, where he finds the missing children sitting together, and then Bughuul appears in front of him. He gets afraid and falls. Ellison gets the bag and burns every picture and videotape, and orders Tracy to pack everything. They get some of their stuff and leave. On their way, they are stopped by the sheriff for overspeeding and to check their documents. On being asked, he reveals that they are leaving the town, and he asks the reason for their sudden departure. Ellison does not tell him the truth and leaves. In the following scene, Ellison and his family shift to their old home. Ellison is in his office when he talks to Dr. Jonas again, who talks to him about the methodology of deity Bughuul, which stresses Ellison, and he disconnects the call after being asked about what he has been through. He goes to the attic to keep his stuff and is stunned to see the box again there, but now with some extra clips. He fixes the videotape, and before he could have played it, he listens to the deputy's call, who informs him that he has been added to the killer's pattern and may be at risk now. He disconnects the call, informing him that he is fine, and watches the videos, and acknowledges that all of the victims were killed by their children. He also starts feeling dizzy and reads Ashley's letter wishing him a good night before falling. Ellison gets paralyzed and loses consciousness. When Ellison reopens his eyes, he finds Tracy and Trevor beside him, while Ashley records his video while holding an axe in her hands. Ashley kills her family and blood is seen everywhere in the house. She is seen drawing the illustration of her beheaded family, after which Bagul appears behind her to take her away. And the movie ends here. If you want to watch a scary horror or thriller, then Sinister is for you. The story and the characters portrayed makes you lose sleep at night. However, both obsession and diving too deep into the world of murder is a dangerous business, emotionally and psychologically, and as both Sinister and real life show, it can be deadly. Thanks for watching another Essential Recap. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.